Hello guys, it's James and welcome to the round 24 footy bets. What a rough week. Look at all the misses below for round 23 just gone. It's insane. Like, you can go so well the whole year, watch so much footy, watch all the footy shows, listen to the podcast. Like, I'm just literally so invested in footy, and like, it doesn't matter how much you watch because just sometimes players will miss and have bad games. And what really sucks about this one, yes, usually players miss, bets lose, it is what it is, but all the selections, it's like game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4, it was just everyone from like a bet is missing. I would much rather 3 legs fail in like bet 4, and I would, I just, 1 leg missing in every bet is so frustrating. But it is what it is, and this is a marathon. This is betting tips for the season. This is how we're up like $4,000 for the year, because it's like you win some, you lose some. We had a rough patch around the buys or so, and then really kicked it off. We had a rough patch to start the year. I think we started this negative. So it happens. It's all part of betting. So as long as, you all know that, peaks and troughs, all that stuff. And literally we went 1 of 9 last week, and I'm recording this on a Saturday morning, and we've already won the first 3 bets. We've won Thursday and the 2 Friday night games. So that's just the stark contrast it can be from round to round. But the important thing is not to get discouraged, stay at the process. And even though this shit happens, I'm not fucking, dropping the ball and just panicking and running around with my hands in the air. Like, this shit's over. Like, I am pretty confident with the method that I do. Stick at it, the same odds, $3, throw the bonus bet on the next one, all that stuff that I've been talking about throughout the whole year and last year and stuff. So good start to this round, but unfortunately rounds like that can happen. It's happened once this year and once last year where we actually went around without winning anything. It happens. So yeah, albeit it sucks, and I hope we win every bet, but this can happen. We'll quickly go through the misses from last week. And again, I just really want to say thanks again. Oh, got a hair on my tongue. Just really want to say thanks again for all the comments, the likes. Like, it means a lot, because like I put in a fair bit of time. Like, I'm recording this at 10:15 in the morning. I'm up at 6:30 going through all this shit, so it takes me like 4 hours just to do these bets. And then I'm also doing the ones for the posts on Thursday and Friday night. So it means the world to me if I just get a couple of likes, because it's like I put in all this time. It's like, yes, people see it, people like it, so it actually does mean a lot. I didn't get that hair. Also, just wanted to give a huge shout out to Aussie Mario, someone in the comments section for the Port Adelaide Gold Coast game. In everywhere I wrote Joe Richards. I included Joe Richards in my bet when I wrote it out, but I included Jackson Mead in my actual bet. So when I posted that, Aussie Mario commented saying, I think you got the wrong person. And I was like, oh shit, I actually do. Thank you so much for the comment. The bet would have missed otherwise. So yeah, really appreciate it. I try not to make too many mistakes when I do the post. I made one where I had Sard, the incorrect disposals. He still hit, thankfully. I wrote 16, but I ment 15. Sorry about those last couple of mistakes. Like, it's no excuse, but I've had a couple of late nights at work, like till like midnight, 9 p.m. one night, midnight the next. So I've had a couple of late nights with work. No excuse, but just sorry about those last couple of typos. I don't think I've made really any for the rest of I did fuck up once, but a couple of typos, really sorry. So just make sure to just check the bet that I include. I also have the Excel below that. I also write it out in the notes. Like, I write it in 3 places. So thank you for picking that up. But yeah, always double check. I should be writing it correct 99% of the time, but just the odd chance I stuff up, it's no harm in just double checking, because I write it out. I do my actual bet, I do the Excel, and then I write it out in text in the notes. So there's 3 chances to, find my mistake, I guess. Not that there will be a mistake, but you know what I mean. So again, thank you for picking that up, and just want to note that out. But yeah, let's get into the review. This is just going to be a shit review because so many players missed. We only hit the last leg of the round, but Wanganeen Miller, we'll just quickly go through the misses. Wanganeen Miller, the hype train, I don't want to say it's like completely fallen off, but he's not getting 25 against a depleted Essendon where there's I mean, yeah, sure, there might be a bit of a tension, but there's no hard tag like the James Jordan game for Sydney, where he got 24 for that one. I would not be expecting Wanganeen Miller to get 24 against Essendon, who are missing like pretty much all their midfielders. There was no merit for this game. There's obviously been no Parrish, Caldwell, Setterfield. Man, but that's the game. I still think Wanganeen Miller will be good for like 25, but maybe just hold fire on the ridiculous 30 posse games, because before he was like taking the piss, just taking a bunch of kickouts, handball receives, 1-2s. They always want it in his hand, and he is running so hard to get the ball. But I don't want to say like 30's off the cards, but in a game like this should have been, in my eyes, I reckon this should have been one of his easier games. So yeah, just maybe keep an eye, because for 30 might be a bit too much. 25 maybe more realistic, but we'll see. Game 2, the Freo Brisbane game. This one was a great one for a Lions fan, so I was very happy with it. Will Ashcroft. So Lachie Neale has been out for 2 weeks, and since he was out, Will Ashcroft's midfield minutes skyrocketed, because he plays in the mid anyway, but he'll start half forward, come into the ground, the middle, so he doesn't have all the CBAs, but he plays around ball. So I was like, I thought he would benefit most from Lachie Neale being out, which he did originally, but this week he's gone back to like 45, 50% CBAs, which is his old, centre bounce attendances. And you probably saw Zach Bailey went to like 40%. He had a big impact early, which probably meant there wasn't much need for Will Ashcroft throughout the rest of the game, because he was popping off, Zach Bailey. So yeah, anyway, I like Will Ashcroft. Came up just short. He's only had like 5 misses for the year, 6 misses, actually. I think he's 15 of 22. So he's had like 7 misses. But anyway, I like Will Ashcroft, and I expect to bounce back. Everyone else there hit, which was fantastic. Jasper Fletcher had his best game, and Jared Berry is unfortunately out for next week. So a couple things to note. But anyway, game 3, Connor Iden. He has been one of the more consistent, reliable players as they come. So again, like he's probably had 5-6 misses in like the last 2 years. So sometimes you just got to take that. I mean, it sucks how that happens among the rest of the misses, but it doesn't really matter at the end, because John Noble missed 18 out of 22. I thought he would have a lot more of the footy, especially without Dan Rioli being in the side. He did have a really good game last night against Port Adelaide, but yeah, John Noble's had not many misses this year as well. I really expect him for 20 every week. Maybe not to the level of like Caleb Daniel, just because John Noble has Will Powell back there, Joel Jeffrey, who actually got subbed. But yeah, I still like both those players. So even though they both missed, nothing new has happened. They're in their same role, doing what they need to do. They just missed. The point of this review is to kind of pick up on what went wrong and any changes to roles or any reason to avoid a player. Both of those mentioned were fine. Actually, speaking of this one, so players to potentially avoid. Adam Sard, I was very tempted to avoid. 9 posies for someone, like, I'm expecting him to get double that. So, and he looked really lackluster, really like just couldn't be fucked chasing. He just takes those nonchalant kicks out of the goal square. Like, he's just one step, kick, doesn't give a fuck. He just doesn't want to run and carry. The thing is, he has had so many, again, I'm doing this off my memory. I've gone through, but he's had maybe 3-4 misses, or maybe like 4 in the last two years. Very consistent, so many brownie points. A game like that, it's like when Lachie Ash missed and got 13 posies. If it's a blip, I can deal with it, and then back in the week after. It is very hard though, especially when they miss by so much. Like a miss, I can tolerate. A game like that is very hard to tolerate. So we bet on him last night, or whenever they played, Thursday night. So Adam Sard did bounce back, which is great. So I'm very happy to call that. And it's good that we watch these games, because if you're not watching the game, you're like, what the fuck? Sard's got 9 posies. I can see he's kind of playing like he's checked out. So yeah, I was hoping that he got one more good game in before the end of the year, and we got that one right. Tom De Koning as well, another one who we called to bounce back, but he got 0 posies in the last quarter there against Jordan Sweet. So yeah, Jordan Sweet's not a a walk in the park ruckman. He's actually, fairly decent. So Tom de Koning, a bit annoying how he went, got 0 posies. He also bounced back against, against Goldie. So that one was good. And Kane Farrell has missed by 1 posie, same role. He kind of also looked a little bit behind the 8 ball, but yeah, he bounced back this week. So all those players there, nothing really to worry about, except that Adam Sard was a big worry, but it was good to see him hit this week. Game 5, Harvey Langford. Oh, this one shit me off so much. So all the Melbourne boys were fine, got plenty of it. Harvey Langford though, and this happened right before the game, well, an hour before the game. Jake Melksham was the sub, and if they're taking off one of their key forwards, I know it's Jake. I always have trouble saying his name, Melksham. When they take him off, I'm just gonna say Jake. When they take him off, it's a big hole they're leaving in the forward line. So Harvey Langford, a big boy, he's going to play mid one day, but at the moment he's playing on the wing. He's helping out at stoppages. But if Jake isn't there, he has to go help in the forward line. So that's where Langford had to go play. So an 11 posie game. It's not in his usual role. Yes, he will have to help out in the forward line at some stages, but when you got Van Rooyen, Pickett's down there, Harrison Petty was there last night as well, you won't need Langford, and it really showed because he got like 25. He had a beast game last night. So again, it's another reason why you watch the games, because you're like, Harvey Langford, why'd he miss? He was out of position, and I couldn't call Jake was going to be the sub, especially when his form has been he's been in ripper form. So, yep, that one, it kind of stung. As did this one. Lipinski, I think, has missed maybe once all year. Legitimate misses, because he's also been concussed in one game, and I can't remember the other injury he had, but I remember the one where he got bumped by Lloyd Meek. But yeah, before that miss, Paddy Lipinski had 1 genuine miss. So, again, and then he got tax subbed. So it's like, a guy who has had 1 actual miss all year out of like 18 games, of course he misses whenever the grain is like, you're just absolutely copping shit all week. And then, yeah, Paddy Lipinski, as you can see down there, 9 out of 10. His 1 miss there was the 13 posies, and he misses. Yeah, it just happens. I can't remember if he hit. I can't remember if he hit last night. I was kind of put off him because if someone's getting subbed, a tax sub, it's either you're resting an old boy who you want fit and prime for the finals, or it's someone who's kind of in your bottom 4 of the team. So when that tax sub happened, I was like, shit. I kind of want to steer clear of Lipinski, because as you've seen with Riley Sanders, I've been bullish on all year. Really like him. Had like 2 misses for the year, had 2 stinkers, and then he was a sub, and now he's not even playing. So I feel bad for Riley Sanders, but the same thing could happen to Lipinski there. Look, I doubt it. He's in Collingwood's best team, but a tax sub is just a worrying sign. So was happy to miss him the following week. Sam Banks, what the fuck is going on with... So Richmond have... I know Vlosten got injured, but he should have been taking kickouts before he was injured. Jaden Short and Sam Banks, like, they've got good kickers in the back line. They had like Tyler Young taking all the kickouts, and Ben Miller. Like, what is going on down there at Tigerland? So, Ben Miller had 6 kickouts. Tyler Young had 5. Jaden Short had none. Sam Banks had 1. So I think, look, if Sam Banks has taken 1 kickout or none, I still think he can hit. But also, Richmond just could not get their hands on the footy this game. You can see we got Cheezel. We got Cheezel for 25, and he fucking more than doubled that, which is insane. Awesome game. But yeah, like, apart from Hopper, Nank was actually really good too. Like, the bet is like, it's so good. And then Sam Banks, someone who is insanely consistent. You can see it down there. He's 10 out of 10, averaging 4 more than his bracket. He's $1.17. Like, he's... Oh, yeah, it is crazy. Averaging 22 posies, then just has a stinker. Like, we're copping that with Lipinski, with Banks. There was, like, Adam Sard, who was 10 out of 10. Like, it's just these consistent players missing, all in the same round. Yeah, it sucks. But, I mean, Sam Banks, I'm happy to back this week, and especially coming after a miss, you'll be a lot better odds coming up. So, yeah, don't write him off. Richmond barely could get their hands on the footy that game. Brian Myers, close miss against Sydney. I do expect him to bounce back. Sydney are not... I know Geelong won that seemingly pretty comfortable by like 40 points, but I don't know. Sydney, this last couple of months, have really just shown some good form. And I witnessed it. I saw them just beat Brisbane at the Gabba. So, Brian Myers, a small half forward who also he plays mostly wing, you know, looking to be that inside 50 distributor, playing at the SCG against, you know, a good team who'll probably make finals next year. An 18 out of 20, I can definitely cop. I was happy with the Tom Stewart call. He was like $1.20 something, $1.26 for 16 posies. That was free. And the Callum Mills and Nick Blakey duo from the back line, yeah, very happy to call that. Again, it's just, yeah, could not be more annoying. And then thankfully to end the round, bang, we finally got a win. And not to mention the bonus bet from the round 7 miss. Bang. So 1 win out of the whole round. But like, literally, it was 0 and 8 for that round. And then I won the last one at the back and then won the first 3. So we've gone from 0 and 8 to 4 out of 4. It's all just, you know, don't get too discouraged when you have weeks like this, because it definitely happens. And again, thank you for all the comments. I can't remember if I finished that sentence. I got the hair on my tongue when I was doing it before. But yeah, thank you for all the comments and support, the likes. Really, really, like, it, even just the comments, you have no idea. Like, it's just so nice to hear, like, oh, appreciate all the work, you know, win, lose or draw, whatever, just all the time goes into it. Because, like, yeah, I can't say that enough, like, how much, yeah, how far that goes. So unlucky round. Let's move on to the betting tips for this round though. So if we go to round 24, I'm just getting it all set up. So game 4. So we've already had the 3 games: Thursday, Friday, and now on to Saturday. So North Melbourne versus Adelaide. Man, I'm interested to see how Adelaide respond to this one. You know, the Rankin drama has been insane. I mean, anyway, I don't want to go into that other than like the AFL just fucking crazy, just letting down every party involved. It's so stupid. Stupid of Rankin to even say that. And like, what are we doing? Like, have you not learned? So the point is, all that crap that's going on, I don't know how that's going to affect all the Adelaide players, whether they're going to come out and have a good game because they want to get their minds off like what the fuck's going on. Is their finals chances down the drain? Or it's just, are they all, I don't know, are they going to flop, or it's been too heavy of a burden, they're going to lose the finals, like one of their best players is not making... I don't know. So this is going to be very interesting. It's against North at Marvel. I assume Adelaide still like pants them, but I just want to see how a lot of them play, because I'd be curious going to the finals. But that being said, included only the 2 Adelaide players, not for any reason from what I just said, but from the value that I found here in the form guide. Josh Worrell, he has been a beast. Oh, tell you what, I'm going to pause 1 sec. All right, I'm back. I just wanted to put some of my notes up here because I often talk about the players up here first, and then my notes to these players not till later, so I brought them back up. But anyway, so Josh Worrell has been freaking huge this year. Arguably, like, I don't know, I think he should be All-Australian, but he's having a sensational year. He's only missed 18 posies 5 times out of his 22 games this year. So $1.33 is great. 18 posies though is I feel like just a little bit of a stretch, but he is going. It's against North Melbourne. It's at Marvel, and last time they played North, he had 18 posies as well, which is a great sign. Yeah, 8 out of 10, averaging over his bracket. 27 last week. I mean, you know, I know it was against Collingwood, so a top side. We'll see how we go against North, but North they did against Richmond as well, get a lot of the footy, had a lot of inside 50s. So yeah, I think Worrell, even though it's against the bottom team, I still think he has every chance to hit. Luke Parker has only had 4 misses for the year. He's going at about 82% hit rate for the 20 plus posi bracket, which is fantastic. He's averaging almost 5 more than what we're asking for in his last 10 games. A senior figure there at North Melbourne, just, you know, capping off his year, I reckon will be fantastic for him. And especially when there's been a bunch of role changes in there, notably Tom Powell of late, he's out of the midfield rotation. Luke Parker isn't. So I want someone who's going to be on ball, who the roles are going to change, who's got every chance of hitting. And I think that's Luke at the moment. Rory Laird coming back. I'm not sure what his injury game was. Jono's usually way more up to date than that than me. but he's only missed once for the year if you exclude his sub game in round 4. So he's 17 out of 18, which is insane. It's for 20 posies. The only like slight concern, I guess, is Brodie Smith is still in the side. So I would have thought with Rory Laird coming back, that meant Brodie Smith drops out. But only concern is it's just someone who's going to maybe pinch some posies from Laird. But 10 out of 10, like I can't argue with that. The only hesitancy is he's just coming back. But I guess he'll need to be fit and firing for finals. He needs a full game because you can't go like 3 weeks without playing and expect to be fit. So this is great prep for Rory Laird before he gets back into it in the prelim. Caleb Daniel, so he's only missed twice this year, 2 times for 22 posies. He has a 90% hit rate. It's insane. And you guys know I've been very bullish on Caleb Daniel all year, purely for the fact that I don't care what any of the media say, how he's performing, whatever the fuck. If he's in the side, he is expected to get 20 posies. His job is a kicker, like a distributor, to find a target. Obviously, he's not there to defend and, intercept mark or whatever. He is there to hit targets. So he should be getting 20. We're asking for 22 posies now, but yeah, he should be getting that. And he's only missed twice this year, so I think it's very achievable. And his partner in crime in the back there, Colby McKercher. Both of them are going to be sharing kickouts. Both are going to be looking for each other. Colby's running real hard. It's taken me a while to get around to him, just because I wasn't maybe a huge fan with Colby McKercher's ball use, but he is looking really good. And the way he was like splitting through packs against Richmond, yeah, it's taken me a while to get on Colby McKercher. I liked him last year, but I don't know. It took him halfway through the year this year before they put him back in his halfback role. So anyway, going Colby McKercher, 9 out of 10, averaging almost 5 all in his bracket. He looks hungry for the footy. So yeah, that's everyone we've included for this. In the 10 and 12 posi bracket, no one there really I like. I mean, I've highlighted Griffin Logue, but fuck me, that would make me sick including him. He's just hit his last 7 games, $1.25. If he was averaging more than his bracket, yeah, sure. But I mean, look, you feel like he's going to be hard matched up against Riley Thilthorpe or Fogarty or whatever the heck. So just highlighting him because he's popping out on the stat sheet. I'm not really that confident in him. 14 posies. So Mitch Hinge highlighted, looks great. Rory Laird's back though. Brodie Smith is still there. So I highlighted Mitch Hinge last week, and I can't believe I didn't take him. I think he was available for like 12 posies. It was something ridiculous. But yeah, coming off 21 posies, big game. I expect him to regress a little bit. I still think he can hit 14, so I'm very tempted to include Mitch Hinge. But yeah, I'd rather have just gone Rory Laird at the moment. 15 posi bracket, Ben Keys. I don't know, every time I bet on Ben Keys, he misses. So I've highlighted him. He's 9 out of 10. Go for it if you want. And if he's throwing the footy, he can still get they're counted as handballs, which is great. Just kidding. But so Finn O'Sullivan, look, he is only going about 50% for the year. He's 11 out of 21, but he's a first-year player, just making his way through the game, so I can give him some time to find his feet. But this last 2-month stretch, he's almost hit like in the last 10 games, yeah, 7 out of 10. He's averaging 18 posies in his last 3 games. Yeah, he's looking really good. So don't blame me if you bet on Finn O'Sullivan. Mark Keane, not a huge fan. He turns it over a lot. He's there, but he takes kickouts. So Adelaide want it in his hands. Yeah, Mark Keane, I'm not that bullish on, but go for it. Tristan Cherry going up against Big Riley O'Brien. I think Cherry has every chance to hit. He just hasn't been in the form that he has been in last year. I expect him to be getting a lot more of the footy, but too many misses in there for me to include him when there's other options. 16 and 18 posi bracket. George Wardlaw, I was very chuffed. Called it last week. He's in form, so the 6 out of 10 is a bit misleading. He hits 25 posies, but I always find it very hard to back someone after like their best game for the season. Not to mention all of North got a bunch of footy against Richmond. So when you look at it on the Richmond side, you can kind of give some of the players an out because they barely touched it. Also on the other side, the North Melbourne side, I don't expect Sheasel getting 50 plus. I don't expect LDU getting 40. So I don't expect George Wardlaw to get 25 as well, going up against Adelaide. Plus, he did come off the game injured last week. I really like him. He's just so injury prone, and he will barely crack 70% time on ground. So I like him, but the time to bet on him was last week. So Wayne Miller, every chance to hit. Picked him up a couple of times this year. I still think he's a chance with Rory Laird in the side. So yeah, anyway, it's the same deal with a lot of these backmen with Hinge and Brodie Smith at the moment. So, and Wayne Miller. So yeah, go for it. 18 and 20 posi bracket. Saligo, Simpkin, Worrell, Powell. I'm all fans of. Powell, probably the least. He's had 0 centre bounce attendances in the last 2 weeks. So yeah, it's good to see him get 20 posies, but again, that game was so inflated. Everyone from North Melbourne played well. So that 20 posi game, I could easily see being a sub 15 if he's playing on the wing against any good side, which he is this week. So I'm highlighting him. His form is great, but I'm very hesitant. Worrell, on the other hand, he hits in a lot of games. Like I said, in the North Melbourne game, he had an 18 posi game. He's also hit like 26 posies against West Coast, 24 against Richmond. The point is, he still gets a lot of footy in the one-sided games, which is great. Jai Simpkin is 16 out of 20 for the year, going at about 80%. I like it. He's hit in his last month. Something that just couldn't quite get me across the line. Yeah, I don't know. Simpkin just does have me worried every now and then, whether he's playing wing or half forward, or on ball. I don't know, I'm just not as bullish on Simpkin at the moment. 16, yeah, sure, but 18, not as much. I've highlighted Jake Saligo, I really like. I just think his value is not there. If he was worth a bit more, I would take. I feel like he can step up. He doesn't have, like, he's had one really good game, 35 posies. I thought his ceiling would be a little bit higher, especially, you know, with Matt Crouch not being there for like half the year. And Berry barely getting any of the footy, so I like Saligo, just kind of thought he'd be getting a little bit more. Moving on to the 20 and 22 posi bracket. Caleb Daniel, I've highlighted. I'm very bullish on him, but I can just get a little bit more value in him for the 22 posi bracket. Jordan Dawson isn't really worth much, $1.17. He's someone with a low ceiling, but I can see him scoring well against North. In the Brownlow race too, so he's probably looking forward to have a good game. Luke Parker, Rory Laird, I've spoken about. Caleb Daniel, same. Rory Laird as well, you can get him in the 22 posi bracket. 9 out of 10, I think that's fantastic. So yeah, really bullish on Rory Laird, even though it's he's coming back from a week off. And Colby McKercher. Picked a lot of the high-end posi bracket players because I don't think there was as much value in the one in the lower posi bracket. Goal scorers, nothing really here to pick from. Riley Thilthorpe, I mean, yeah, he could kick a bag, but at the same time, he's helping out in the ruck. He could go missing. It's at Marvel. There'll be no weather impacts from the weather. So, yeah, I think he's a good chance, but that's kind of a roll of the dice for me. Same with a lot of these goal scorers. I only take goal scorers if I'm really bullish, like that Jake Melksham game last night. Yeah, he was in really good form, and the sub game was ridiculous, so we got him for good value. But other than that, I wouldn't be taking these players at the moment. Yeah, cool. Moving on to game 5. Game 5, we have the Richmond versus Geelong game. So this one is already pretty crazy to start off with, but Seth Campbell for 10 posies, and then Sam Banks for 16, Dion Prestia for 18, Brian Myers 20, and Bailey Smith for 30 plus. So Bailey Smith for 30 plus is kind of my... Anyway, we'll get to it. Seth Campbell. He has only missed 3 times this year out of 21 games. He has a hit rate of 86%. His misses have been a 9 posi game, a 9 posi game, and an 8 posi game. So he's just missing if he does miss. Like I said, he's only missed 3 out of 21 games this year. He is hitting far more than he misses. And against Geelong earlier it's not even that long ago, round 17, like 2 months ago, he had 19 posies, which is huge. So I really like Seth Campbell here. I don't expect him to get 19 posies again, but I expect him to get pretty close. Yeah, I just couldn't pass that up. Seth Campbell, obviously not someone I bet on. I looked at his stats and I was like, I sussed into him a bit more. I was like, oh shit, he is actually hitting a lot. And his best game of the year was against Geelong. That is very hard to say no to. Sam Banks, He missed last week, and I've given Richmond plenty of the benefit of the doubt. A lot of Richmond players missed their bracket. He is 17 out of 20 for the year, so he's going at 85%. He didn't take many kickouts because for some reason Ben Miller and Tyler Young are taking all their kickouts, which is insane. But there's no Nick Vlosten, so I think Sam Banks is going to have to definitely cover the ground. I'm not saying he's going to be helping in any marking contest or spoiling like Vlosten does, but the back line there will probably get a bit of a workout. So I think Sam Banks has every chance to bounce back. Dion Prestia, 14 posies in that blowout, that North game. So I think he can definitely step up. 18 positives for someone playing on the wing. On ball a lot there. I think he should be bouncing back. I know it's against Geelong, and yeah, Geelong are probably going to pump him by a lot, but Dion Prestia will be around the ball with a lot of opportunities. Grind Myers coming off a miss. We've actually got 3 players there coming off a miss. This is another great thing. You can't like blacklist players. That's one of my pet peeves. I should bring that up in another video where people blacklist players because it just really reduces your field. If I like Grind Myers, he missed last week, I'm never betting on him again. The options and the players that you can select from just becomes smaller and smaller. In the end, you're going to avoid everyone because everyone misses at one point. Anyway, so Grind Myers against Sydney at the SCG, I can see him. That's fine. He can definitely have spurts where he doesn't touch it for a bit, but then on the other hand, he can go 8 posies in 5 minutes or something and have a lot of it. So that's kind of the thing with a wingman as well. I think he's every chance to hit against Richmond. Bailey Smith, so a little bit interesting because these last 3 games, 30, 31, 30, he's just getting the 30 posie brackets. He's 12 out of 19 this year, going at 63% for the year. He didn't play against Richmond in round 17, so don't really know how he would have gone, but his biggest games for the year, possession-wise, have been against the bottom clubs. North Melbourne, Essendon, West Coast. He has absolutely smashed it out of the park with, it was like 40 posies, 30 something. So here, his top posie games for the year, 43 against North, 41 against Essendon, 38 against West Coast. I really think Bailey Smith will do something similar against another bottom 4 side. Moving on to this. So anyway, we've got the 10 posie bracket, spoke about Seth Campbell. 12 posie bracket, Nathan Broad coming off a miss. I think he can definitely bounce back. I just wish it was maybe a little bit more value, but I reckon I would have picked him otherwise, especially with no Vlosten, but Seth Campbell was just presenting crazy value. So I do like Nathan Broad. An 8 posie game, not ideal. Nathan Broad obviously can have games like that because his main focus is not to accumulate the footy and get the ball. He's literally there to defend. So yeah, he's had 8, 9 posie games before. It happens. He can bounce back. Tyler Young, this is my first time highlighting him. I'm only highlighting him just because he took 5 kickouts last week. And Sam Banks and Jaden Short were there. And so it's definitely a coaching instruction to give Tyler Young more kickouts because it's just spiked for some reason. And coaches very rarely just have a new strategy for like 1 week. So if their plan was to get Tyler Young the footy and take kickouts, they got pumped, right? But they're not going to be like, well, all right, let's just put that in the bin. They'll be like, oh, let's give it a couple of weeks. I know it's the last game of the year, but that's the thought behind that one anyway. I still think Sam Banks and James Short can hit, but Tyler Young, just noting because I think he'll probably have 1 more week of a decent share of kickouts, or he could carry on to next year easily. But anyway, Connor O'Sullivan looking great for Geelong. Great taking marks, defending. He kind of teeters around the bracket. I would like him to average a bit more, but yeah, presenting value, but others to pick from first. Tyson Stengel, he had the quiet game against Essendon. He can bounce back. I've been bullish on him for 12 plus before. I do like Tyson Stengel. I was tempted to include him. It's against Richmond. There'll be downhill skiing. I think he's every chance to hit. Yeah, I really like Tyson Stengel for 12 plus in this one, but he's 13 out of 20 for the year, so a 65% hit rate. Not amazing. His 10 game form is pretty good. He's very consistent too. A very nice tight range, but just couldn't pass up Seth Campbell. I think he trumps him in this stage, even though Richmond are likely going to get pumped. 14 posie bracket, Toby Nankervis. He played well against Cherry last week. I think he's every chance to hit against Reece Stanley. I'll speed this up. Fuck, it's almost 11 o'clock. So 15 posie bracket, Nank again. not many others to pick from. If you see anyone there of good value, go for it. But I mean, Zach Guthrie, he can be inconsistent. He can have quiet games. Yeah, not that bullish on anyone else in the 15 posi bracket. So let's quickly move on to the 16 and 18. We can have it here on the one screen. Sam Banks, $1.22, 9 out of 10, averaging 5 more. Like, that is wild. 85% hit rate this year, coming off a miss. Like, Sam Banks was one of the first ones picked. I would have included him for 18, but for 16 posies, like, if we get him in the bracket below, that is fantastic. So yeah, really like that. I like Jaden Short too. 79% hit rate, but he's only played the 14 games. If he misses, it's very close. So yeah, I like Jaden Short, but I don't know. Sam Banks is probably there to do his role in future. So yeah, I'd much rather go with the younger talent. 18 posi bracket. Jack Ross has been a roller coaster early on in the year. Like, he's got a 6 posi game there, but yeah, I can't argue with his recent form. Every chance. Tom Stewart, I called his bounce back last week against Sydney. I still think he's going to be in good form going into the finals. Against Richmond, yeah, I think he'll get around 18. So yeah, I do like his chances, but I just was way more bullish on him last week. Tom Atkins, it's a shame he keeps racking it up and playing well. I really liked his odds in the 16 posi bracket, but we can't get that anymore. 18 plus, yeah, I don't mind it, but I would rather go, in this case, like a Bailey Smith, who I just think is going to take the piss. But yeah, I do like Tom Atkins in this one a lot. Dion Prestia, I've spoken about. He's only missed once this year, every chance to bounce back. Sam Banks, 9 out of 10, averaging 3 more. Any other day of the week, that's fantastic. I think people are maybe slightly worried with the lack of the ball he's getting in the back line. Because yeah, he had a stretch earlier, like a month or so ago, where he's getting 4, 5, 6 kickouts, but now he's just getting like 1 a game. So yeah, maybe they don't want it in his hands as much, but he's still racking it up, helping in the back line there. Grind Myers, I think he can bounce back in the 20 posi bracket. 22 to 30. Hopper and Taranto, yeah, I like. Hopper's done us really well this year. Bet on him plenty of times. He's probably only had like 3 misses for the year, just going off memory. I expect him to bounce, well, not even bounce back. We called him last week, we included him. So yeah, I expect Jacob Hopper to play well again. Same with Tim Taranto. Look, Geelong have started tagging again. They hadn't tagged for ages. They put a lot of effort into Isaac Heaney with Mullen and O'Connor were both doing a good tagging job. So I expect maybe, you wouldn't think they'd have any attention to it, but it's also the time of the year where, you know, Geelong just can't treat this like a free win. They'll also have to be playing and getting ready for finals. So if they're getting ready to tag for finals, they should be tagging in this game. Yeah, anyway, so just a little bit of concern there for those 2 guys for Richmond. Grind Myers, I think he can hit again. Bailey Smith, like I said, only a 63% hit rate this year, but his biggest games of the year have been against the bottom 4 sides. I think Bailey Smith is just going to, you know, have a blast out there. I don't think he's going to win the Brownlow anymore, but yeah, I think he's every chance to get a 3 voter for this one. A lot of options to pick here for goals. I was very close to include Brad Close or Ollie Dempsey. They're both going at 82% this year. They're both 18 out of 22, so they've only missed 4 games each for the year. They're going up against Richmond. So yes, all the eyes are going to be on Jeremy Cameron, who is $1.10. Like, what the fuck? That is crazy. There's no Shannon Neal, which should help Jeremy Cameron, you know, because Shannon Neal's actually found some form, but like also get out of the way because I want to see someone kick 100 goals. So I hope Jeremy Cameron kicks an absolute bag, but no doubt there'll be a stray goal here or there that go to Brad Close or Ollie Dempsey. I was, yeah, very tempted. Grind Myers, yes, I like him too, but he is very unselfish and will usually go for, he's 8 out of 10, I know, but yeah, he usually looks up for the targets and he'll probably be one to find Jeremy Cameron. So yes, that's the goal scorers for that one. So that's game 6. Moving on to, no, that was game 5. So moving on to game 6. Which is the West Coast Sydney game. Yeah, this one, look at this. I have 4 players in the 20 plus and Liam Baker in the 18. Liam Baker has only missed 2 games for 18 posies all year. One was 2 weeks ago and the other was like 2 months ago. I think Liam Baker is every chance. He's going at 90%. Like, you can't ask more than that. Doesn't matter where, look, I was going to say, it doesn't matter where he plays, as long as he's not in the forward line. He had a stint in the forward line for a bit. That, like, get him out of there. So yeah, if he's playing anywhere else, I'm very confident he's going to hit. Isaac Heaney coming off one of his most quiet games, but you all saw the tagging role. O'Connor was really locking him up. I think Isaac Heaney has every chance to just have a party against West Coast. I'm actually bullish on him for a goal or 2 goals, but anyway, just keep him for posies for now. I think he'll bounce back. Braden Hoff is playing, who's done some tagging roles, but he's also given up. It's like Saronga's hit when he's been tagging him. I wrote these notes earlier in the year, but Hoff, if he gives him any attention, I still think Heaney has every chance. Brodie Grundy coming back from the concussion game. He'll hopefully look to go out with a bang. Max Gawn had a good game the other night. Brodie Grundy, I think, has every chance to get All-Australian. This could be a game that really sums it up. He's going up against Matt Flynn, who, like Todd Goldstein, have been very generous to the opposing ruckman and just let them have their way. He had a 14 posie game against Darcy Fort. Darcy Fort is actually, I got to start to be cautious of him because I've been cautious of like Jared Witts, Riley O'Brien in the past, those bigger boys who are, ruck killers. Darcy Fort is like entering that camp. He's actually really shutting down the players, and he shut down Grundy in the grand final last year. So anyway, I think Grundy coming back, going up against Matt Flynn should be a different story. Callum Mills and Nick Blakey, they did so well for me last week. They're both hitting their last month and a bit. So I think they're every chance to hit. It is against West Coast, so you'd think some of the backline players might fall off a bit. But Nick Blakey also had a great game against West Coast earlier in the year. So against West Coast, sorry, I was getting a little confused. Blakey hasn't played against West Coast this year, but against Richmond and North Melbourne and Essendon, the bottom teams this year, he's gone 34 posies, 29, 28, 27. So yeah, I think he's every chance to hit against West Coast, even though I'm not usually as bullish on backman against West Coast, but Nick Blakey loves to run, carry, get up the ground. He wants the footy. He wants handball receives. So yeah, I like that. And Callum Mills has only missed, he's missed twice this year, but one of those games was his first game back where he played on the wing. So if you kind of exclude that because he wasn't playing where he usually does, he's only missed once this year and it was 19 posies. So I think Callum Mills has every chance to hit along with Nick Blakey. 10 posie bracket, Sandy Brock. Yeah, sure. I mean, a defender and the backline there for West Coast, sort of key defender-ish, but 10 posies where the ball is going to just live for the game, I think is every chance, but not as bullish. I was bullish on Ruben Jimby last week, but as you can see, where is he? He's $1.09. So we got him for like $1.30, I think, last week, which was fucking wild. And then he has 22 posies, one of his best games for the year. So now he is off the table because we're now asking 14 from him, which I think is, yeah, I think he can hit, but no need to get greedy and chase him after a really good game. Clay Hall, I think he's only had the one miss this year. Look, I don't watch or check that many resi games and stuff, but apparently he was doing really well on the twos, so really knocking down the door to get a game. And he's only missed once this year. One of them was a sub game, so every chance. It's against Sydney, so it's like when you're going up against Isaac Heaney, Chad Warner, Errol Goulden. He hit against Dogs last week, and Dogs have one of the most stacked midfields, so I don't want that to be like a deterrent, but it's hard not to, because his form guide is just screaming to be picked. So yeah, I don't mind the Clay Hall pick. 15 posie bracket, Jack Graham. Jack Graham, like he got 20 posies last week. He hit for us. It was fantastic, but I swear to God, he's running like he's about to blow a gasket. Like he is just fucking hanging on like a busted ass, but like he's still getting 20 posies, and he's not even like that old or anything. Jack Graham is 27, but fuck me, he runs like he's older than Jack Darling. Like that's how he runs out there. But anyway, Jack Graham, I think he's every chance to hit. Tom Cole I've highlighted because there's no Ryan Marrick, no Liam Duggan. Aside from McCarthy, I think Tom Cole is the next candidate to step up and help take some kickouts, which he has done before. But if McCarthy's off or McCarthy's in the midfield, I think Tom Cole will be taking those kickouts. Elijah Hewitt, form guides there. Don't know enough about. I mean, I know who he is, but I just don't watch him enough. Haven't bet on him before. But 2 misses in 14 posies, that is very close. So for anyone who's following West Coast a lot more than I am, I think Elijah Hewitt's probably a really good pick. Jack Graham, I mentioned, fucking just hanging on, but look at his stats. Anyway, pretty good. Liam Baker, he's had the 2 misses all year, averaging 3 more than the bracket. I really like him. He'll have to help out, against Sydney. If he's playing in the back line, maybe, because there's no Ryan Marrick. I think he's a whatever. The point is, I said in the start, I don't really sort of care where he plays as long as he's not buried in the forward line. I think he's a big chance to hit. These players in the 20 posi bracket are presenting the most value. It is Isaac Heaney. I think he can easily bounce back and get 20 plus against West Coast. Brodie Grundy going up against, not to be rude, one of the bottom ruckmen of the league. Callum Mills, Nick Blakey are both in great form this back half of the year. Well, Callum Mills only played two-thirds of the year. Nick Blakey has really found, like, he is in great form. So expect both of them to hit. McCarthy, man, I wish he was this price for $1.20 for the 20 plus posi bracket. 22, look, I like, but he's going to do a lot of juggling. So he's been playing a lot in midfield. He's also taking kickouts. And like I said, there's no Ryan Marrick or Liam Duggan. How much can we be expecting of him? So I think he'll have a good game, but it's a lot to ask from one guy to just have a blinder when there's no help around. So I like it. The 5 out of 10 is not really concerning, especially when I'm looking at his averages. So he's averaging like 24. He's averaging more than what we need for the bracket. I like Tom McCarthy. He'll probably take like 10 kickouts. Look, I do like Tom McCarthy. I just wish he was either better value or he was this price in the 12 plus. But obviously everyone, he's this price for a reason. He'll be taking the lion's share of the kickouts, getting absolute free posies back there. So yeah, Errol Goulden, Errol Goulden I thought would be maybe averaging a little bit more by now. He's back into the swing of things. I mean, his last 2 months is okay, but yeah, I expected his average to maybe jump up a bit more. So it might be someone we consider for next year, but I think he's every chance. I would rather go Heaney at the moment. I think Heaney's in better form. Goal scorers, there's a couple here. I mean, Luke Ryan, go for it, and he might kick one for his last game for West Coast. Isaac Heaney, I think, can have 2, even though he's 4 out of 10. I can't imagine who's kicking 2 goals from against West Coast. Like, this should be an absolute one-sided game. I know it's at Optus. I know Sydney are not a top 8 side, but I don't know. I think Sydney their back half of the year has been a lot better than their front half, and West Coast are the same. So I think Sydney can, win by 10 goals or something. Look, I don't know. That's the thing. My footy tipping is not great, but I think Isaac Heaney can have definitely 2 scoring shots and kick 2 goals. So that's game 6. Moving on to game 7. We have the last... Oh, no, we're on to Sunday games already. Wow. So here, we've got Connor Iden for 15, Bradley Hill for 16, Jack Steele for 18, and Tom Green and Lockie Whitfield for 25. I think these guys are... I just forgot something, one sec. Okay, I'm back. Lockie Whitfield has only missed twice this year, and the same for Tom Green. Both have only missed twice. Tom Green is going at 90%. Well, it's the same and for Whitfield, but Lockie Whitfield, his one other miss this year was against St Kilda. So that's the only slight worry. He got 24 posies. Marcus Windhager is not being used as a tagger for the last couple of months, so I think Lockie Whitfield has every chance to hit. Jack Steele, that wing roll experiment seemed to have died out. So you can see there his games where he played on the wing. That 17 is inflated because the last quarter he played on ball. So that could have easily been 2 13 posi games in a row. And yeah, 27 when he's back on ball. CBA attendances went up. I think that experiment is done. So I think we're getting great value for Jack Steele for 18 plus. Bradley Hill has only missed 3 games for the year. He's going at 86% hit rate. Very consistent. So yeah, really like him. And Connor Iden, another guy who's been super consistent, has only had the 3 misses this year. He's going at 86%. So I think Iden, every chance. Was that 15 or did I get him for, hold on. Oh no, it was 15. He's $1.28 in the 15 posi bracket. Yeah, I really like that. Usually we've had to go in the 16 posi bracket for Connor Iden because, he's playing well. We have to get him for a higher posi bracket. But if he has a bad game and we can get him for $1.28 and 15 plus, I really like that. So yeah, definitely take that. In the 10 plus, Liam Stocker, yeah, sure, he's teetering along the posi brackets. He hit last week, but when I called, but $1.40 for someone who's 7 out of 10, yeah, who's 1 game off being 8 out of 10. He's 12 out of 15 for the year, and his 3 misses have been 8, 8, and 9 posi. So like he's very close. So yeah, I don't mind the Liam Stocker pick. 12, Sam Taylor, if he was more value, yes. Darcy Jones, I do like. He's 1 game off being 8 out of 10. A small electric high half forward. I think every chance to hit against, a bottom 6, 8 club, whatever they are. So yeah, I really like Darcy Jones. I just think there's a couple of better options to pick from at the moment. Otherwise, if there was no one else I'd include, Mason Wood. As soon as he goes in the forward line, his posies just turn to poo. So he'll get a lot of, he'll get like 14 to 18 posies if he's playing on the wing. If he goes in the forward line, which he does, and there's still no Owies, so I think, Owens, he's out for the rest of the year. So Mason Wood, yes, will play on the wing for a little bit, but he could also easily play in the forward line. Although Isaac Keeler is listed, will help in the ruck, and he will probably be in the forward line too. So look, I think Mason Wood can hit, but I just don't want to roll that dice at the moment. Toby Green, I think, is actually a decent chance. I'm surprised I didn't highlight him. So yeah, I don't mind Toby Green. I like Angwin too. I like Ralston. He did have a really good game, but he can just be quiet. I think Ralston's a player for years to come, not at the moment. 15, Callum Wilkie, coming off a miss. He can do that as a key defender. He can go 29 posies and 10. So if you want to ride that wave, go for it. Connor Iden, I feel like, is way more consistent. I don't care who he's playing on, what he's doing. And even though there's Lockie Ash, Lockie Whitfield, getting a bunch of the footy back there, and also Harry Himmelberg at the moment, I still think Connor Iden just is such a great, not role player in the sense of an old role player. He just does his role week in, week out. Very, just a nice small range. You know what you're expecting from Iden. So yeah, I really like that. No one else really done it from the 15, so let's keep moving on. The 16 posi bracket, Bradley Hill was spoken about. Only 3 misses for the year. Harry Himmelberg got a 15 last week, but that was a tax sub. So he could have easily continued his form of 20 plus disposal games. He had a stint where he was playing on the wing. He's been back in defense and he's looking great. So I think he is very likely to get 16 plus. The 6 out of 10 is a little concerning to look at, but you've got to look at his recent form. He's averaging 19 in his last 3, and that's also with a 15 posies. So I think he's every chance to get 18 or 20 plus. So I do like Himmelberg there. 18, I like Jack Steele probably a bit more now that he's on ball. 8 out of 10. Greens all across the board, so I like that. I think he's every chance. 20 plus, Windhager. It was a leap to go him last week. I know a leap sounds weird when his form is this good, but you just never know if the tag's going to be busted out. But he seems to really this is the role he wants. He is an accumulator and damaging at that. A great runner. So Windhager playing on ball is fantastic. He was a little bit better priced, I would, but just too short for mine. Jack McRae, I do like him. 20 posies for $1.20 is not too bad. I mean, he's going up against, it's who do you pick here? Someone who's in ripping form or someone who's just done it consistently and coming off a miss. Both are decent picks. I would probably pick them if they were worth just maybe $1.25 or see here for Tom Green and Lockie Whitfield coming up, both $1.30 for very similar stats, and I feel like I can trust those guys more, especially when both of them have only missed twice for the year. So I think that's fantastic, and these guys have missed twice in their last 10 games. So Tom Green, Lockie Whitfield, really rate that. Wanganeen Miller is $1.16 for 25. I don't hate it. I wish it was better, but I think after that 24 posi game against Essendon, the circus, or not the hype around him is hopefully just trying to settle a little bit, because I think he was $1.08 or $1.09 for 25 posies. So he's very close again to $1.20. If he was $1.20, I think I'd include him straight away, but I'm very close to including him for this price. I don't want to go 30. I think 30 is just ridiculous. And it's a lot to ask, especially because Wanganeen Miller, it's only this back half of the year. This year he's had a great year. Don't get me wrong, probably going to be All-Australian in the half back line. He will be. But he's going to be a future Brownlow medalist, or contention. I'm making all these weird calls, but the point is he's very good. It's hard to go a 30 plus posies at the moment when he can have reality checks and go 24 against Essendon. I don't mind the 24 against Sydney where he's getting tagged, but against Giants who are really pushing to make finals, I don't expect Wanganeen Miller to just have his way and just run around scot-free. I don't think Bedford will be used as a tag on him because Bedford hasn't been as a tagger for a while. But the point is, I just don't think he can just get handball receives, run around and hit targets just without a care in the world. Yeah, Tom Green, Lockie Whitfield, I like. Lockie Ash, yeah, I like too. His 13 posi games play on my mind a little bit because I don't expect the halfbacker to just fall off the face of the earth that much. One game I could give him the benefit of the doubt. 2 games is a different story. Finn Callahan, I think he's every chance for 25. His games where he just misses are very close, 21, 23, and 24. One game off being 8 out of 10. I like Finn Callahan. Yeah, I think he'll have a good game against St Kilda. Goal scorers, Cooper Sharman, 9 out of 10. I don't have much interest in, but there you are. Aaron Cadman, very tempting. $1.35, 8 out of 10. One game off being 9 out of 10. He's averaging 3 goals a game. There's still no Hogan. Yeah, I think Aaron Cadman is every chance. I really like that against St Kilda. So yeah, there's the goal scorers. Anyway, let's move on to game 8. Game 8, we have the Freo doggy game. There was a lot to pick from in this one. Like a lot. So like I said, I usually, these are the like I copy the players that I like and I put them up here and then I slowly filter them out to the players that I'm going to bet on. There is a lot to pick from. There is a lot. Obviously, I'm not going to do that whole bet, but it's just about culling that list. And we've come up with this one in the end. So we'll go through the other players who I do like as well. But Murphy Reid for 12, Bolton for 15, Luke Ryan for 16, Ed Richards and Libba both for 22. So Murphy Reid, he is 18 out of 22 for the year. He's going at 82%. He has not been subbed once this year as a first-year player. So obviously Freo want game time into him. Also, Nat Fyfe and Hayden Young are both playing, so I can't imagine both of them getting crazy minutes and not being subbed. So Murphy Reid will play the full game. 9 out of 10 in his last 10 games. He's only missed 4 for the year. A first-year player. It's 12 posies we're asking for. It's not a huge amount. He's averaging 2.6 more, which is, I really like it. So I know he's going up against the Dogs in a finals-like game. But yeah, I'm expecting Murphy Reid to continue on what he's doing and step up as well. I think a first-year player like that wants to play finals. They'll be hungry. I think he wants to have a good game. Someone who I think will want to have a good game and bounce back as well, Shai Bolton. So he's 8 out of 10, only averaging 2 more. But the reason he beat a lot of the players in the list that I just showed before, when he has a bad game, he bounces back and bounces back hard. So it happened once this year where he also had a sub 10 posi game. He had 7 posies. The week after, he had 28. Oh, it's crazy. And he hasn't had 2 back-to-back 15 posi games. Sorry, he hasn't had 2 sub 15 posi games this whole year. So if he has a sub 15 posi bracket game, he's hitting the following week. So like I said, that 7 posi game then turned into 28 posies. He had like a 14. Oh, well, there's one here. A 14 that turned into 25. So he doesn't just bounce back. He shoots whatever he fucking double bounces back. He goes real hard the next week. So the 9 is really scary. But from what we've seen from Shai Bolton, the Fremantle Shai Bolton, he bounces back. So I expect him to play well and want to make finals for his new club. Luke Ryan, what the fuck are we doing? He's $1.20. He's missed once this year, and I think it was like a 15 posi game. Like, I'm like, he is free money. Like, I don't understand. So he's missed once this year, and it was 15 posies against West Coast. Against West Coast, who a lot of, backmen typically miss. So Luke Ryan, that is crazy to me, how he's $1.20 in the 16 posi bracket. What the fuck? Ed Richards, I think he can be All-Australian, maybe start on the bench, but I think he's having a fantastic year. Huge year. It's great signs for him and the Bulldogs. He's missed 3 times this year. Same with Libba. They've both played 22 games this year, and they've both hit 19 times. So they're both going at 86%. I think they are, I think really strong chances. 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. One of those misses was a hard tag game, and the other one was a miss just by 1 posi. Same with Libba. They're both very close. I think both these guys can definitely hit. 10 posies. No one there to pick from that I really like. Rory Lobb crossed my mind for a little bit, but he'll play probably, key defender on Tracy or Voss. Actually, I really like Voss for a goal. He made the list, but anyway, we'll see. Murphy Reed, who I spoke about, who I really like, who is 82% hit rate. Someone who is also 82% hit rate is Carl Warner. So 17 games he's hit this year out of his 21. Every chance, he's 10 out of 10. I really like. He's very close to being that nice sweet price of $1.20. Yeah, very close. If I wanted to do a much bigger bet, I could. Oh, and this bet is $3.74, so it is typically more than what I usually do, but I don't want that to be a deterrent because I usually aim between $3 and $4. So if it's on the higher end, like, yeah, that's great, but by no means is that the incentive. Like, I'm aiming for $3 to $4, so I could swap someone out and reduce the odds, but I like these players regardless. So I don't want to kind of be changing my bet based on the odds. So I could bring it down to $3.20, $3, but I like these players. So that's why we're sticking with them. 14, I like Oscar Baker. He hit last week. We called it. He's only had one miss for the year when he's played a full game. I think he is every chance. I really like Oscar Baker. Again, someone I really like, but I think Shai Bolton is a better chance to bounce back. And what we've seen this year, he has had big games when he has a stinker. So I like Bolton. I like Baker, but the history with Bolton, I'd rather just go with that at the moment. 15 Posi, Lockie Bramall, yeah, he's playing pretty good. I think he's had like 3 misses and they've all been like 14 Posies. So he's very close. Again, I like him. Tim English, going up against the Sean Darcy and Luke Jackson combo, less bullish on him. So he was probably one of the first ones that I felt comfortable culling, even though his last month has been huge and averaging 20 Posies over his last month. So Riley Garcia, he's only played 6 games this year. I don't know enough about, so a lot of those games are from last year. So if we're looking at this year, I'm not as bullish on, maybe later on. Neil Erasmus, so I've spoken about him the last 2 weeks, but I'll just say it again. He has been subbed 4 times this year. He is a sub risk, but he has been a sub risk, but not at the moment. So he's playing great. He has a high Posies per minute. His time on ground is increasing. He's really just found his way in the side. He was going from about 60 to 70% time on ground, but it's shot up to 78. So he's playing around 75% time on ground on the wing. Yeah, I really like Neil Erasmus. Again, if there weren't other options, I'd be including him. So I like him. Bolton, I've said enough about the bounce back. There's a couple of players in here, just couldn't quite pick. Joel Frazier has found some form again, but could easily just be on the wing and get 14 Posies. 16 Posi bracket, Bailey Williams, again, very close to including 18 of 22 for the year. He's going at 80% hit rate. But I mean, how could you go Bailey Williams when Luke Ryan is 95%? What the fuck? I might do another column for next year or something, or maybe for finals and do their hit rate for the whole year. It's a very handy stat. Lockie Bramall I like, Tim English, yeah, Neil Erasmus, all I've spoken about before, I think are every chance. 18 Posies, Matthew Kennedy, if he crept up a little bit, I would definitely take it. Hayden Young, I haven't highlighted. He's $1.24, 10 out of 10. Yes, that screams fantastic, but who knows what's going to happen. Very high likelihood he's going to be a sub candidate, start or finish. Higher likely candidate, he's going to have limited time on ground. So I don't see a point betting on him now. You'd have to wait for him to have a couple of games under his belt, but they need him for finals. They need him to get ready. So yeah, they need to play him, but I just don't want to touch that at the moment. He's injury prone he'll have low minutes, just avoiding for the moment. 20 plus, Jordan Clark has been fantastic this year. I think he's had like 4 misses, averaging 5 more. 1 more cent and I'd be including him. Like, that just looks so much better. But yeah, I like Jordan Clark. There's just other options. This is a hard one. Sometimes the ones where there's so many options is just as hard as the one where there's none. Well, not really, because there's more to pick from here. It feels like there's just more to think about, you know what I mean? With the games where there's not as many players to pick from, the decision becomes pretty easy because there's no one else I'd rather include. This one is hard because I'm like, oh, well, how's this player played? Like, there's a lot more you got to consider and break down when there's a bunch more picks. Libba, Kennedy, I think they can hit. Brayshaw is actually a great price for 18 plus. He's only missed 4 times this year. I think Brayshaw is every chance to, go like 25 plus Posies in a finals-like game. So to get him for $1.18 for 18 Posies, I would almost just throw him in as a sweetener at that point. This is like your gun mid who you're asking, why did I think 18 posies? We're in the 22 posie bracket. My bad. 22 posies, I'm a bit more hesitant. But still, only missing 4 this year. I wouldn't include him as a sweetener at that price, but I'd think to include him just generally. For 22 posies for your gun mid. Ed Richards and Libba, I think, yeah, doggies midfield usually accumulate a lot of the footy, so I think they'll just, have a bunch of it. Jordan Clark, yeah, sure. Bond I've always seen as that, like, 25 posi player. So, like, not much footy, but just very high damaging. He can play in the forward line. So, he's getting a lot of the footy recently. But $1.32, I would rather go Ed Richards, but Bond's having sensational form. And he could easily cop some weird BS tag from O'Meara, or actually, is Wagner playing? But he didn't do a tag last time. But anyway, I feel like Freo need to throw something at the stumps to get this win. One of the easiest things to do would just be, in my opinion, shut out Bontempelli. So, Caleb Sarong, Daniel, yeah, they're just probably not as consistent as I'd like. 30 plus, not even interested. Goal scorers, Paddy Voss really tempted me. He is 15 out of 18 for this year, so he's going at 83%. He's had a scoring shot in every game this year. He went 0 goals 1 against the Doggies in round 4, but that was like round 4. Paddy Voss has really stepped up this year. He's looking great. Really shut down against who did? For some reason, I'm thinking it was at Adelaide Oval. But Adelaide was against. Hold on. Brisbane. Sorry, it was I've literally blanked out. Sorry. Very quiet against Brisbane, where Brisbane absolutely pumped them by like 40, 50 points, whatever it was. I think he can definitely bounce back, Paddy Voss. Luke Jackson, Murphy Reed, sure, but I don't know. I'm bullish on Patrick Voss. He is having a great year. He's averaging 2 goals a game, 8 out of 10, coming off a miss. I like that. Aaron Norton and Sam Darcy, I think every chance, but I just think this is going to be a finals-like game. They're 9 out of 10. I just don't know if it's just going to be all those free hit-up and marks that's happened previously in their other games. But, I mean, they're great value, great form. Aaron Norton's averaging 4 freaking goals a game over his last 10 games. Aaron Norton, I was very tempted to include. I mean, look, I was tempted to include them both. I think just the fact that this is a do-or-die game, Guts Up Cup, is it's just hard to pick a multiple goal scorer for such an intense game. Otherwise, I like them both. So, that's the bet for this one. Anyway, moving on to the last game, Game 9, which is Brisbane versus Hawthorn, which I'll be going to this one. I hope Brisbane win. If they lose, I'll get a home elimination final, but I hope they win to get the second chance. We've gone Cam Rain. I haven't done this. I preface every time. Haven't placed the bet. Wait till you get another bonus bet opportunity or what have you. But this is the bet I'll do at this stage. If the bet changes, I'll do a post on Sunday. But for this point in time, this is what I'm looking at. Cam Rayner, 14 posies. I think 14 is very achievable. He's 16 out of 22 for the year, so only 70%. But he is coming off a miss, 13 posies. He's averaging 4 more than the bracket we're asking. He's usually a good sort of finals-like player. So I know we're not quite there yet, but this is very finals-esque like game, needing to play to get a second chance. So I like Rayner. And we saw Zach Bailey step up last week. I think Rayner is a strong candidate at that. Zach Bailey stepped up, had a great game. I don't expect Zach Bailey to be playing at that pace, and that, I don't expect Zach Bailey having those games every week. I don't expect Cam Rayner having those games every week, but I would rather go Cam Rayner now to have a game similar to Zach Bailey, and Zach Bailey to maybe regress a little bit. So that's the thought process there. Darcy Wilmot is 18 out of 22. He's going at 80%. He is looking in great form. He had a bit of a quiet patch in the middle of the year, but averaging 20 posies in his last 10. Yeah, I really like Darcy Wilmot. Connor Nash averaging 19 posies. He has an 80% hit rate as well. He's 14 out of 17. And I thought I'd include one Hawthorn player for this one. But I'm kidding. His stats are really good, so I like it. He'll be playing on ball up there. Probably have soft, or he'll probably be having a body check on McCluggage or something like that. But Jasper Fletcher, I'm just a slight bit concerned here. This is the one that I might... Look, he's 9 out of 10, averaging 4.6 more, coming off his best game for the year. Only concern is Jared Berry is now out this week. Jared Berry is like the main wingman for Brisbane. So we got Bruce, we got Levi, Zach Bailey playing on the wing too. There might be a chance Jasper Fletcher goes back to his wing role. Jasper Fletcher played wing all year last year and like the first couple of weeks this year, and then he's been in the back line. I don't think you would move Jasper Fletcher when he's in such good form, but I mean, you've got to cover for Berry, and we're going up against Hawthorn and we need a second chance, so I can see Fletcher being the one that needs to move, especially when we've got Starcevic, Ryan Lester all back there. Like, it's not like we're kind of missing anyone in the back line. Well, currently, I know we don't have Tom Duday or Kitty Coleman, but yeah, at the moment, I think we can cover. Anyway. Dane Zorko is playing his 300th game. Dane Zorko has only missed twice this year, and they've both been in his last month. They've been 17 and 19, so he's always close. I reckon Zorko has every chance to hit, and yeah, his 300th game. If anyone's going to have a good game, I think it's him. But don't get too carried away with milestone games, because we've seen it that many times in the past where a player for their milestone game misses. Don't let that be the deciding factor. I think Dane Zorko could hit if he was playing his 300th or his third game. I think right now he's just, yeah, in great form. 10 plus posi bracket, no one there I really like. Logan Morris kind of tempted me, but against Hawthorn have great defenders, Barras, Battle, Sicily. I don't expect Logan Morris to have too much of it. Calamarchi, I think 12 plus is very achievable. So he had 20 plus, he had 20 posies against Hawthorn last time in round 11. He's only going about 57% for the year for his hit rate. He's 12 out of 21. This could be, you know, could be his last home and away game for Brisbane, so he still play finals, but I think Calamarchi is a very crucial player. Definitely goes under the radar in the forward line there for Brisbane. So yeah, I like Calamarchi. I really hope he hits, has a good game. So that one's kind of, yeah, no, I just think he can, that's more me. I just want him to do well. I think he will do well, but yeah, 12 plus posies. I think he can hit. Cam Rayner, yeah, every chance, like I said before. I think he's the one to also step up and have a good game of form. Plus, in his last 10 games, his misses have been 12 and 13, so he's very close. He'll have rotations in the midfield. So, yep, I think he's very good. Josh Battle, not quite the value there for 15 plus anymore, and his last 3 games have been very good, so I can see why his value's gone down. But if I just speak about Josh Battle here in the 16 plus, this is more of a price bracket I like, but his hit rate is only 59%. He's 13 out of 22 for 16 plus. So yes, his form of late has been really good, but he can consistently just miss. So we've got him previously for 14 posies or 15 posies for better value, but at the moment I would go someone else at the moment. Jack Ginnivan, he's $1.14, which is crazy for 16 plus. He is just, it's crazy how well he's playing this year and accumulating so much of the footy for a small forward. Darcy Wilmot, Connor Nash, I've spoken about, I like. 18 plus, Jai Newcomb, Zach Bailey, Zach Bailey, great game last week, huge. I don't think he can do that again, but I think he can play well. So 18 plus is a lot to ask for someone who will be playing on the wing and who's coming off their best game. Jai Newcomb has found some form again, so the 7 out of 10, yeah, it's not great. Well, I mean, it could be better, but he's 19 of 22, so he's had a rough patch, but he seems to be out of it. James Sicily, also speaking of being out of rough patches, he is very much the same. Had a very average start to the year, but look, he's just smashing them these last couple of weeks, so I really like that. Don't let the 6 out of 10 be discouraging. He's got a 73% hit rate, so yeah, I like Sicily. Massimo D'Ambrosio, I just wish he was for 16 plus. I always feel like 18 plus for a winger is a lot. Josh Ward, yeah, I think he's got every chance. He'll play on ball. Not too many CBAs, but he's been well, especially in Will Day's absence. Fletcher, I like. His stats are off the page. He had his best game I've ever seen last week. If my only worry is he'll play on the wing a little bit, I think that's fine. I think he can still hit if he's on the wing. It probably won't even happen. I'm probably worried about nothing. But Jared Berry being like our best winger, something has got to give, you know what I mean? So, Jack Ginnivan, yeah, every chance, 9 out of 10. I think, yeah, he's every chance of hitting. That's crazy. I just can't believe I'm saying Jack Ginnivan for 18. It still doesn't feel right. Anyway, Wilmot and Connor Nash, yeah, I think every chance. 20 plus, Zorko, the milestone man. Jarman Impey, his last 10 game form has been amazing. but he didn't start hitting 20 plus until round 8 this year. So he's only 11 out of 20. So he's going just over 50%. So yeah, his last 10 games have been amazing, but still in the back of my mind, like I know Impy could pull out like 12 posies. So that's why I'm not as bullish on him, but anyway. Carl Amon I like as well. Take some kickouts, just better options in my opinion. Otherwise I could easily go him. Newcomb and Bailey I spoke about. 22, I think Will Ashcroft has every chance to, well, not even bounce back because he actually hit last week, but he's $1.18 for 22. So like I said, close to $1.20, which is my preferred value. But Ashcroft has only missed twice this year, 22. So he's 20 out of 22, which is huge. Otherwise, Josh Dunkley, Zorko, I also can see hitting. Dunkley I've liked for 20, but his last 2 months have shown, yeah, he can be a 22 plus player. And again, there's no Neil. So I think Dunkley is, I actually like Dunkley. That might be someone who I include over, no, I like everyone in this bet, but I also like Dunkley there for 22. 25, I like McCluggage and Ashcroft. They're both 15 out of 22 for the year. So they're both going at like 70%. Could be better. They're going up against Hawthorn. They'll have no tagger. So yeah, I think they can hit, but I think it's more like a slight, it's more roll of the dice on them. Like, I don't know, I'd rather go Cam Rayner for 14 than trying to roll the dice with McCluggage or something when he's going. Oh, that's my thought process. I'd rather go for a smaller bracket for someone who I think is a similar chance of hitting. Because if they're both 70% for the year, then like 8 out of 10 or 7 out of 10, I would go towards the lower posi bracket. Goal scorers, Nick Watson, Cal Shadir. Yeah, I think Nick Watson can hit. I didn't include, actually, he got subbed last week, right? But I think he also kicked the goal in his very low posi game. So he had 3 posies last week and a goal. Yeah. So very quiet game, but he still hit. So it doesn't really matter if he goes missing, he can still hit. He could be a sub risk. It just depends how well he plays. It's the same as Cal Shadir. A lot of the forward line players at Hawthorn tend to get subbed just because they've, abundance of them. They don't need them all. So Jack Gunston, the uniform man of the comp, who, played at Brisbane for a year, and I hope he plays well. It's so great to see like the older players just still absolutely thriving and being second or third in the Coleman race. Huge year for Gunston. So I like that one, but I think Andrews will do a pretty good job on him. Sam Darcy came up and kicked 1 goal here at the Gabba, but a lot of the times, a lot of other goal scorers have come up and just had their way, like Georgiades, Melksham, Cadman, Hogan. They've all kicked bags, so I think Gunston has every chance to kick a bag, but 2 goal scorers, I better be way more bullish than that. So anyway, they're the bets for this round. I better finish this straight away because it's now 11:40. I need to get this video done, uploaded, so you guys can have a look at it. But again, I just want to say thank you again so much. Even though we have rough weeks, thank you to you guys, the community, mentioning, chatting in the Discord, chatting in the YouTube comments, means a lot. So yeah, really appreciate you guys, and hopefully we have a good end to the round. I might do something for the buy round. I might do a little breakdown video. I don't know if you guys would be interested in it, and just going down like, oh, we bet on Connor Iden 20 times and he hit 18 out of those times or something. Like, maybe if anyone's interested in it, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just fucking take a week off and then chill before finals. But or maybe do something for Brownlow night with Jono at one stage. But that's stuff on the cards. Maybe I just enjoy a week off because I get so tired waking up at 6:30 on a Saturday to smash this out. But again, thank you so much. I wouldn't do it if I didn't care about it, and you guys make it worth it. So thank you so much. I will chat to you guys maybe next week. If not, I will see you guys for the first week of finals. Peace.